Have you seen this woman? If so, you should probably call someone because nobody else knows where the hell she is. Seriously though, where is Asuka? I know that she's still alive because a few weeks ago I saw her tap out Becky Lynch at the Royal Rumble, and yet while I have tuned into SmackDown for every single episode after that fact, Asuka is nowhere to be seen. The Tuesday Night's Women's Champion has just vanished into dust, and I'm going to presume that that's intentional because it's not like WWE has released a statement saying that she just spontaneously combusted like a Spinal Tap drummer. That means it's a choice, which also means there is a reason for it, and said reason will probably make you sad. So, WWE is keeping Asuka off SmackDown. Why? Here's why. Let's get the facts out the way first so we can start focusing on the pros and we can start focusing on the cons. But it certainly does seem like WWE is keeping Asuka hidden in the shadows because of everything that happened back at the Royal Rumble. With Becky Lynch being pushed as the hottest thing in the company, the powers that be decided, look, let's just keep her away from the limelight, away from the spotlight, because otherwise she could roll back onto fans' television screens and kind of derail the whole thing. I mean, all Asuka has to do is take a microphone and go, excuse me, I know all this palaver is going on, but I tapped her out, and I tapped her out pretty damn easily too. What I don't get is why that's being considered a bad thing. WrestleMania 35 is going to come, but also WrestleMania 35 is going to go. And wouldn't it be a good idea to have some storylines, to have some narrative, to have some matches all ready to go when we do get to that stage? I think so. And why not put that bell, I don't know what the bell is, but why not put that bell around Asuka's neck and let her ring it and say, hey Bex, let's tangle once again. It doesn't mean that WWE won't do this eventually, but why are they not capitalizing on it now? Because every single day that goes past, it lessens. And it lessens to the point, sooner or later, nobody will care. Now, I'm happy to hold my hands up and go, whoops, I jumped the gun too much. If, let's say, we get to WWE Fastlane and management and Vince McMahon and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon go, look, Bex, you want to get back in the company? You want to not be suspended anymore? Well, we're going to give you one final task, one final hurdle to get to the show of shows, and that's beating the SmackDown Women's Champion, who, yes, don't forget, beat you the last time you clashed. But if we're not going to go in that direction, what do you do when Asuka does return to TV? Is it just a case of holding out for as long as possible so that she can sneak back on into Tuesday night and just not mention it? I mean, I guess there's some kind of logic there, but there's also the logic of me being a human being and having a memory. I don't just forget things. I'm not an idiot, or at least I'm not an idiot in this regard. WWE could have had the champ march down to the ring the day after the Rumble, get on a microphone and start running down Becky Lynch before just sending out whoever was going to be her next feud. Then, sure, you addressed the situation, but you also threw it under the rug before it had to get going anywhere, and also you didn't bury the SmackDown Women's Championship, because right now it may as well not exist. Then it would have all have been taken care of, and most of us wouldn't be sat around going, what the hell happened to the Empress of Tomorrow? Why isn't she on TV? In fact, WWE, you created more chatter by pushing her off into the distance. You've become Barbra Streisand. And if you don't know what that means, you can Google Barbra Streisand effect on Google right now. It's there on Wikipedia, but I'll try and give you a rundown, or as far as I know it, to me in my brain. But basically, some newspaper or some publication let it be known where the location of one of Barbra Streisand's properties was. She doesn't like that. She filed an injunction with a court. Loads of other people then found out about it, and eventually everybody was printing pictures of Barbra Streisand's house. Again, it's called the Barbra Streisand effect. Sometimes just keep it simple and don't make people put eyes on it. It's not even a problem that she doesn't feature every week. In fact, that is something WWE can do more of. Absence does absolutely make the heart grow fonder, and it makes people feel like a bigger and bigger star. But it's about balance and it's about moderation. If Brock Lesnar hadn't been Universal Champion for as long as he has been, I think every time he was announced for a Raw, or when you knew he was coming to a pay-per-view, there'd be far more buzz because the Beast is still a star. What gets us mad is that he's taken that championship and he's holding it hostage, even though he's not. He's just getting paid a load of money to do whatever WWE tells him to do. It instantly makes him feel like a bigger deal because he only turns up when he has to turn up. So you think, oh man, crap is about to go down. And not literally, that'd be a terrible program. Asuka shouldn't be in that role though. She is one of the best wrestlers on the roster, and there was some momentum here that we could take an advantage of. And then sure, that's when you can take her off TV for a little bit. But make sure when you do that, you also run some of those cool vignettes like you did around about a month ago and ensure that no matter what happens, we never get through an episode without thinking to ourselves, man, I tell you, that Asuka, she is a big deal. Otherwise, once again, you enter the same problem that Raw does when we do talk about that big red belt. When the Universal Championship isn't in the plans, do you know what everybody at WWE does? They all go silent about it, which is the equivalent of when you're a child. And you remember this. It would get later and later, and yet for some reason your parents hadn't popped their head around the door to say, look you, it's time to go to bed. So in your immature mind, you decide, maybe if I stay really quiet, and maybe if I don't say anything, Mum and Dad will forget about me and I'll be able to stay up forever. All you've got to do is not move. But that is never going to work because your parents aren't a T-Rex. And more so, we're all aware that Brock Lesnar is the champion and hasn't been on TV in a bajillion years. And we're also aware that the same is going down with Asuka. At the very least, use whatever tools you do have at your disposal to keep the candle lit. That way, when she does come back to SmackDown, she still feels like a big deal. If she turns up next Tuesday, I'm just going to be quite surprised by it and ask the big question, can someone please tell me where she's been? I would like to know. Otherwise, it's all just disjointed and weird. The prior week, nobody cared, and then 7 days later, we're meant to care. You can't mess around with my care gland like that. Eventually, you wear it down. You also start tapping into other issues that may not be as obvious, and oddly enough, it is something we saw around about a year ago when we had the Elimination Chamber in 2018. We had all the men in the big structure and they were fighting for whatever the hell they were fighting for, but the plan went thusly. We can't allow Braun Strowman to win because we need Roman Reigns to take the victory. So what we will do is we'll have the monster among men take out everyone, but then Roman can just spear him and hopefully that kind of appeases all parties. It didn't work out because all it did was slowly dent away at Braun Strowman's armor. And we're doing the exact same thing now. Becky Lynch is front and center and sure, she's got to get her big push, but somebody else is suffering because of that, and that somebody is Asuka, and I don't like it. And it's not the end of the world, because it only ever takes a few weeks before you can spark someone back into life and start hurling them up the card, but still, it's a question many fans have been asking, and I think it's a fair question to ask, because it just makes no sense. Imagine the Rumble was the first pay-per-view you'd ever seen too, and you looked at Asuka and thought, oh wow, she's cool, she's got a great look, and she's a bit quirky, but I'm intrigued about her, I want to see more. And then you tuned into SmackDown, and you just couldn't find her. And you don't know about videos like this, you don't have any information or the details at your disposal, so you just go, oh, I guess she left the company. I'm not going to become a fan now. She was my guy, she was the person I wanted to follow, she's not here. I'm going to go watch Desperate Housewives, or I'm going to go watch 24, or I'm going to go watch, I don't know, The West Wing. Why I'm picking TV shows from like the middle of the 2000s, I don't know, but that's just where we've ended up. That's what could happen. They're probably on Netflix, or at least on DVD, Blu-ray. And it's very unlikely that did happen, but it doesn't mean it's entirely impossible. My point being, if you do smell success, WWE, it's all right to turn that into a lovely meal that you can also eat. And that's right, I'm now saying that Asuka's next storyline should be she becomes a delicious meal. Some people take a lot of what I say literally. I don't mean that. Sometimes words just come out of my mouth and then it's too late and I could try and backtrack, but that's really hard to do on a video, so I just embrace my weird side and we move forward to whatever is next. Either way, yes, that's why Asuka isn't on TV. That's why she's not on SmackDown. I feel I got an idea. Allegedly, the WWE's like, well, we don't really know what to do, so let's just hold fire and hope that nobody notices. But I always do. Simon Miller, Wrestling Nerd. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Like, share, and subscribe. Then we got a website. It's called WhatCulture.com. Head over there now. Just type it in the browser. Go follow WhatCulture on Twitter. WhatCulture WWE. Everyone loves social media. It's awesome. And you can watch more videos right here on WhatCulture Wrestling. Just go to the homepage and click away and give it a thumbs up and just have a great old time. My name is Simon Miller. This was WhatCulture Wrestling. And I just want to thank you for stopping by, especially here on the Y series. And talking about other videos, there's loads of Ys out there, and you can come and join me for those and join in the discussion in the comments below. A lot go, shut up, Simon, you're an idiot, Simon, you're bald, Simon, I'm coming to kill you, Simon. Those ones are always a little bit like, uh-oh, and I start looking around. And then I realize it's not even like real, is it? That's just a comment, that's just a text on a website, this is just a camera lens. It's not like someone's over there, and if they are, I'll probably get it captured on camera, and we can just upload that as a video, And I bet that would do really well. Why? Simon has just been murdered in a video. That was too much. I found my line and I stepped over it. Let's step back to the other side. I'll see you soon. Hopefully.